дня, шановні абітурієнти! До вашої уваги пропонується аналіз помилок, які ви припустилися протягом пробного ЗНО з англійської мови, яке складали в стінах нашого університету Запорізького національного. Це коротке відео підготували два доценти, я, Андрєєва Ірина Олександрівна, та моя колега Залужна Марина Володимирівна. Отже, hello everybody! Today we're going to have a closer look at the typical mistakes that you took during ZNO in English. We're going to have a look at some do's and don'ts. To begin with, every test is a challenge for a student, but if you know the structure and prepare yourself for it, it's not going to be that difficult. So let's have a look at the structure of ZNO in English. It has 4 parts, 10 tasks, and to complete them, you have 150 minutes. So listening has 3 tasks. These are multiple choice, true, false, and again multiple choice. For reading, you have 4 tasks. These are mostly matching and 1 multiple choice. And another part is use of English. You have 2 tasks and they are both multiple choice. The most challenging, as some students think, is the writing task. Usually it's a letter or an essay. So let's have a look at all of these papers one by one. ZNO is coming. So to begin with, you start with listening. This is typically a multiple choice task where you need to choose the correct answer. It's A, B, or C. So you will have to write your answers on a separate answer sheet and you will hear each recording twice. So what should you do? What are the do's? So you need to first read the instructions while listening to better understand them. Second, you need to read the questions and predict what type of information you might hear. Will it be some date or maybe place or name or property or whatever? So remember, you will hear the recording twice. So you will have enough time to read the questions and to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. So when listening to the recording for the first time, you need to choose the suitable answer, the one that seems likely, and check if you are right during the second listening. Beware of so-called distractors. What are distractors? These are words that are the same in the question and in the answer, but in fact, they are not the correct answer. So the actual answer, you need to remember that, may come at any part of the recording, as well as at the beginning, in the middle, or you will have to wait up to the end of it to understand the correct answer. So once again, try to predict it. Sometimes it can be just the matter of common sense. We'll have a look at some examples and you will better understand what I mean. Next, do not expect the correct answer to sound identical to the words you've read in the question. It will probably be paraphrased, so expect to hear some synonyms. Try to understand the meaning, just don't grab at the words that you read in the question, okay? So let's have a look at the task. First type of task is listening, multiple choice. This time you have pictures. So which means of transport is the speaker going to take? Listen to the recording.
Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. You will hear the recording twice.
Hi, John. I hear you are going to see your uncle in Chicago, aren't you? Are you driving there?
Definitely not. Chicago is too long a way to drive. I'll probably fly or take the train.
Have you checked the plane prices? I'm afraid flying may be too expensive.
Then railway will be the best choice for me.
Okay, so the correct answer is A. While listening to the recording, you heard some distractors, the words that were meant to distract you from the correct answer. Those were too long way to drive, and you might have thought it's a car, or I'll probably fly, yeah, but the correct answer is actually railway. So you need to choose option A, because the speaker said railway will be the best choice for me. Let's look at another example. So, which sport does the speaker go in for? Please listen to the recording.
In our time of couch potatoes, playing sports has become more important than ever before. As for my family, we are all sporty. While my father was dreaming to see me a hockey star, my mother taught me how to play badminton. It immediately became my passion. It is quite easy to play, and what you need is just rackets and shuttles. I really like this sport because it makes me healthy. It also helps me to relax after hard work at school. I'd also like to try table tennis to play with my friends at school during breaks.
Here, you heard some distractors. The speaker said that his father wanted him to be a hockey star. Yeah, and he also said that I'd also like to try table tennis to distract your attention from the correct answer, which was answer B. So, his mother taught me to play badminton. It became my passion. It helps me to relax. So, correct answer is B. Beware of these distractors. Don't let yourself get caught. Okay, another task is not the pictures, but the verbal contact. Here you have the alternatives written. Let's look at the example. So, here the question is, what should the students be paid for? A. Academic progress. B. Regular attendance. C. Good behavior. Just think to yourselves, do you really think students will be paid for good behavior? Does it make any sense? So we eliminate answer C even before listening to the recording. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah? So regular attendance, I wonder, my students would be rich if it was true. Yeah, so most likely it is going to be academic progress, but we are not sure, and we decide on alternative A even before listening to the recording. Yeah, so let's listen to the recording.
Imagine you get money to buy that new pair of sneakers you want if you do well in a test. Do you think students should get paid for good grades? In my opinion, there are 3 reasons to support this idea. One of them is students focus on school more and don't skip classes. The second reason is teenagers' love of money. They'll do what they have to in order to get the money they want. Third, they'll have better behavior.
So, the correct answer is definitely A, because you heard a synonym to the word academic progress. This was do well in a test. That's what I have told you. You need to listen out for synonyms and paraphrase words and phrases. So you heard get paid for good grades. It's the same as academic progress. Good grades is academic progress, yeah? And distractors. Of course, we had some distractors here. Focus on school, don't skip, better behavior. These were meant to get you carried away from the correct answer. But now you know what to be aware of, and next time you will be better prepared. Okay, let's move on. So the next listening task is true, false. Once again, the general tips that might help you do it better are the following. So once again, read the statement carefully. Some students rush. They don't read everything word for word. They rush to the end, choose the answer that seems likely, and fail. So, read the statement carefully and once again try to predict what you will hear. During the first listening, you will hear the recording twice, remember. During the first listening, try to get the main idea of the text and decide which statement is true or false. Which statement do not have the same meaning as the information in the recording is false. So once again, what do we mean by true or false? If the statement is true, it has the same or identical, 100% identical meaning to what you hear. If the statement is false, it differs in meaning from the information you hear, even if it differs in part. So not 100%, yeah? Also, do not expect to hear exact words in the recording. There will probably be paraphrased words and word combinations. And once again, beware of distractors. They will definitely happen. And of course, check your answers during second listening. So let's have a look at the example. So listen to the text for statements 7 to 11, choose true or false. You need to read this task. And please familiarize yourself with the suggested alternatives. Listen to the recording.
Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. You will hear the recording twice.
The magnificent historic theater dating back to 1919, El Ateneo Grand Splendid in Buenos Aires, Argentina, is now a bookstore. The Guardian newspaper called it the second most impressive bookshop in the world. Situated on Santa Fe Avenue, it was designed by famous architects and opened as a theater in May 1919. The beautiful building has ceiling frescoes painted by an Italian artist and sculpted by Troiano Triani, whose work also decorates some other buildings in Buenos Aires. The theater admitted 1,050 spectators and staged a variety of performances, including those of famous tango dancers. The theater owner started his own radio station there in 1924, which was broadcast from the building where his company made some of the early recordings of great tango singers of the day. In the late 20s, the theater was turned into a cinema, and in 1929 showed the first sound films presented in Argentina. Then the richly decorated former theater was rented by a book-selling company. Later on, the building was renovated and turned into a book and music shop. The cinema seats were removed and bookshelves were installed instead. After the renovation, the 2,000 square meter theater became the leading bookstore, and in 2007 sold over 700,000 books. Over 1 million people walk through its doors every year. There are chairs in every part of the building, including the theater boxes, where customers can look through books before buying them, and there is now a cafe at the back of what was once the stage. The ceiling, the purple stage curtains, the auditorium lighting, and many architectural details remain. Despite the changes, the building still gives the feeling of the grand theater it once was.
So the correct answers for this task will be the following. For task 7, it's true, because the speaker said the bookstore, the bookshop, is second most impressive, which means it belongs to top 10 of the world, right? So why is the statement 8 false? Because the speaker said it staged a variety of performances, including tango dancers, but not only tango dancers, yeah? So here you can see that the information in question 8 does not correspond 100%. That's what I told you. It needs to be fully true. And here just one part is true, so that's why it's false, yeah? For statement 9, it was pretty complicated. That's how I felt, yeah? So the theater owner started a radio station there in 1924, which was broadcast from the building where his company made recordings of tango singers. It was challenging, but it was false, right? Because it wasn't the broadcasting company who bought the building. It was the theater owner, yeah? Okay, for statement 10, it's false again, because the bookshop was turned into a book and music shop, and the seats were removed, so it's no longer a theater, and the theater performances are no longer held there. And the last statement is true because there is now a cafe, so you can have a snack there, right? Because that's what you normally do in cafes. I hope you're not hungry at this moment. Okay, so to sum it up, to better equip you for the upcoming test, what should you do? Let's repeat the common do's and don'ts. So, do, read the questions carefully. Do, predict, think. What type of information you need to listen out for? Listen to the end and correct the answer maybe anywhere, at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of the recording. Do not expect to hear identical words in the recording and see them in the text, because most likely they will be paraphrased in synonyms. Beware of distractors. Now you know they're there. Check your answers during the second listening. If you cannot find the answer, oh my God, just eliminate the ones which look incorrect. Use your educated guess. That's what we say. Yeah, but I hope this won't happen and you will understand everything. So that's all as for tips for your listening part at ZNO, and we look forward to seeing you as our students next year. Thank you for your attention. See you soon.